The next ebook I'm going to share with you was done with elementary students as the target audience. This student wanted to teach elementary art, so she created a book that would be something her students could do, maybe to teach a concept or an extension or a review. But her concept is colors, so primary colors. So I'm going to go through the book, and I want you to not so much focus on the content because none of us want to teach art, but instead focus on the supports that she built into the book because they will give you ideas. The supports she built in could be supports that you build into your book for your learners. So one thing that she did for her book was she provided audio. She has elementary learners in an art room, assuming that the learners are on a variety of levels. And she's not their primary teacher, she doesn't teach them reading. So, audio is a great support because since it has this little image right here, the student can choose whether or not he or she needs to click on it. So I am looking at the book. I want to hear my teacher read it while I'm reading it. I can click on it, or maybe I don't. Maybe I'm fine with the text, and that would be distracting to me, so I don't click on it. Choice is a great support. So having something there the students can choose to use is a benefit of an ebook rather than a print text. So if I click on it, you're going to hear her.
Splat by Megan Garner.
So she's chosen to record that audio on each page of her book so her students can listen. So let's read her book. So you see that hers is very beautifully done. She's an artist, but it's also very simple. And she doesn't do a whole lot on every page, but it still looks wonderful. And so you need to consider the learner as you're creating your book. And sometimes less is more. You don't need to have, 5 different pictures and all these different colors. You need to think about, is that going to be distracting? Is that going to be something that's going to be overwhelming to the reader? So do your best to make it aesthetically pleasing. When you look at it, does it hurt your eyes? I had one a very long time ago before Salem ebook that was made with a red background. And every time I looked at it, I wear glasses and my eyes are very sensitive. I get headaches. So every time I looked at it, it was blinding to me to have that bright red background on my computer screen. So if I were a student reading that, I can imagine that, I would be distracted by the color because here my eyes and my head are already starting to hurt and I can't focus on the topic I'm supposed to be learning. So hers is also fiction, and I didn't really mean to choose 2 fiction books to show you because honestly the majority of the books that are turned in are nonfiction. So don't feel like you have to make up a story. This is a story, but it teaches a concept. So if you do choose to write a fiction story, make sure that it's teaching a concept or teaching, if you're maybe it's language arts and you're looking at a skill when you ask them questions. So you'll see that she has the audio on every page, and if we listen to it.
Hi, I'm JP. This is an interactive book about primary.
It's going to read what's written to the students, and then there are going to be links just like in the other book we reviewed. Now notice that she's using this page to explain the process to the students of how to go through the book. And that's something that you should definitely consider, is to have some kind of page at the beginning that offers some instructions. So I'm going to click on that. It gives an example, and she makes sure that the students can get back. And so that's very important that they understand how to travel through your book. So if we keep reading, and I think that these are showing up over some of the text because of my version of PowerPoint. I am on a Mac and hers wasn't created on a Mac, and I think sometimes when the versions are different, things can shift in your PowerPoint. I would never take off points for that because I understand that happens. So don't worry about using one version of PowerPoint and then when I open it the text is shifted a little bit because I understand that that happens. So if I click on Canvas, you can see that that's a vocabulary support for the students. She does a nice job of offering an explanation of what a canvas is, has picture examples, which is great for a variety of learners. Struggling readers benefit from visuals. English language learners benefit from visuals. And the visuals are just appealing to most of us. You know, we like to see pictures. So it is a great support for all kinds of learners, struggling or not. So I continue through the story, and you see that it's going to start talking about colors, and that's the concept she's trying to teach. And she tells a little bit more about it. Again, pretty simple. She has elementary learners as her target audience, so she doesn't want too much, but it's also great, and it's very fun and colorful. And a cute little story. And I know I'm clicking through it quickly, so you might not be able to read it. This one is in resources if you want to go back and look at it again. One thing I really like is that she color coded these words. So when she says red, she makes it red. When she says yellow, she makes it yellow. And I think that helps the words stand out to the students. It reinforces the word to them. So they might know what red looks like, but they might not always be able to recognize the word red, and now they can match it. So that's a great vocabulary support built in. And she continues that theme. So it's important that you stay consistent in your book. And if you're gonna try one thing on one page, then don't give it up. On the other pages, keep it going. You don't need to have a whole ton of supports, but you can pick a few that you carry through the book, and you really focus on making them something that would support the reader. So here this vocabulary support is in the form of a video. So she has this video for the students to watch, which let's see if it opens for me. Again, I think some of this shifted and it's not letting me click on the video. And maybe it would work for you better. Let's get back to where we were. But she has that embedded. One thing that I think would help if for an instance like that, if your video is not playing, is to have a link to the video underneath the video. So if I can't open the video, and not just me, but if the reader can't open the video, it's there for you to see through a link. So now she's gone through the concept and explained it to them through the story, and now she has an opportunity for students to check their understanding of the concept. And you can see things have shifted a little bit in this book, and that's my version of PowerPoint. But she says that she wants JP to make an orange pumpkin, so students need to decide, based on what they've learned in the book, what color combinations will make an orange pumpkin. So they can click on the paintbrush to see if they're right, and this was right. So she gives them some feedback and says, you painted an orange pumpkin, and now we can try something else. So now we want to make a green balloon. Well, the important thing is that you don't just focus on them being right, but you give them support if they're incorrect. So if we click on one that's wrong, she tells them that they're wrong. They painted an orange balloon. Now this is okay. She didn't give them much feedback, I love it when you can give them a little bit more feedback. Perhaps you really can't with this topic of the why. She did say this is why you're wrong because those two colors make orange. So that is some feedback, but don't just say oops. At least have like what she has down here as this is orange. So let's try again and figure out what two colors would work together to make green. So the feedback is really important because you want to be able to talk to your students through your book. If they're doing it independently or they're doing it in small groups, or even if you're doing it as a whole group, maybe you have a kindergarten classroom and you're going to put your book on your smartboard and you're all going to read it together. Either way, the ebook gives you the opportunity to provide feedback to the students, unlike a text book. So while I love books and I would never give up holding a real book in my hands, I like ebooks as an additional tool because it's an opportunity for you to build in as many supports for the reader as you can. Um, so, don't think of it as a replacement of an actual book, but think of it as an addition, another resource that you can use in your classroom. And I, again, clicked on the wrong thing. I'm supposed to click here. So you can try to get the right answer. And she has another one. And if we click to the end, that might be the end. Let's see. Oh, she has one more page. So she has a little bit of a conclusion, and that's it. So I like this book because it offers a variety of supports. It has the audio support for the students that I didn't play on every page, but it is of her reading the book to the students. It has visual support. It has the videos in addition to the images with the visual support. And we missed one of these pages. Oh, that tells you about, and I didn't click on that when JP was highlighted. It tells you how she got that name from an actual artist. There was vocabulary support. The words were color coded, but they were also clickable, which is something that is not available in a text print. So I can click on it and learn more about the word. So that is a great support too. Her book was fairly easy to navigate. I didn't really feel like I got lost until the end when I would click on the wrong thing. So maybe that could be a tad bit clearer. But overall, it was simple yet very nicely done and beautiful in the way that she put the colors together for the students. So I think this is a good example of a way an ebook could be constructed for your students. And in addition to that too is the opportunity to check for understanding. So that's a great support as well, having that for the students.